We're back with Seth Allen from Cadence Financial Group. Welcome back.
Thanks a lot, Thor.
Two big stories to talk about today, dominating headlines all over the country. First of all, the coronavirus. What kind of impact is this having right now on our country's economy?
Well, I think that you have to take a step back and look at it from a global standpoint. And what we're seeing is, even though the amount of people affected is nowhere close to the flu virus, which I think is over 26 million now, it is having an effect, nevertheless, in terms of the way countries are handling it. We're seeing a slowdown in trade. We're also going to see it start to affect the energy sector, consumer discretionary. We just saw Apple come out and announce that they expect to have slower earnings as a result of this, and ultimately, given that we're a global player, it's going to affect us as Canadians and potentially as investors.
Traditionally, when the World Health Organization puts out an alert or an emergency like that, what kind of impact does it have on the markets?
Yeah, our friends at Ned Davis did a back study looking at the last several, SARS, avian flu, swine flu, and what have you. And what they found that when they came out with that announcement, the markets tend to bottom at that point. And it wasn't exactly precisely at that point, but sometime within weeks, and then went on to higher levels. So far, it seems to be the case. They announced that back on January 30th, which, if people recall, January wasn't a very kind month for investors. This month has been very different since they made that announcement. Okay,
and the other major story that we've been following for weeks now, the ongoing rail blockades across this country, and that's having huge impact as well, right?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how you can have an illegal blockade go on in this country and court injunctions and what have you. That makes for the political side of things, but from an investment standpoint, as an investor and also as a Canadian, it's kind of a real impact on our economy. When you add in the coronavirus along with this blockade that's going on, we're going to see a slowdown in various sectors. We're already seeing factories announce potentially shutting down. We're seeing rationing of supplies such as propane. And once again, people forget we're a global player. That means that we have to export a lot of our products that we make, like grain and what have you. If the rails aren't operating, well, that doesn't bode well, both for the economy and if you're an investor in certain companies that are affected by this.
So given the global uncertainty because of the coronavirus and the impact on the Canadian economy because of the ongoing rail blockades, what can an investor do?
Well, I think first investors need to realize that markets have had a big move up. They're kind of frothy, as the term is being used lately. And so, if they were to look at their asset allocation and look at how much equities they have, as a starting point, add some bonds and maybe look at some alternative assets such as gold, which is hitting new highs every day in the last while. And I think the other thing too is don't be afraid to be a bit of a contrarian. I have that saying I say to clients is, when everybody's rushing out in Vancouver to buy winter tires, perhaps you should be looking at summer tires that are on sale. And I think the same thing goes with stocks or other investments that, when they get beaten down, they're good companies. Take that as an opportunity to pick up a position.
I always appreciate your analysis because you break it down so well for all of us. Thanks so much, Seth. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Thor.
Okay.